right, again, so this is the unit, and normally what happens is exhaust, a little bit flows through this line, triggers a pressure switch, which will then start the fan motor. So my pressure switch has engaged, but it's not starting the motor. So just so you get an idea, if I pull this hose out, you'll hear a click. And if I plug it back in, so you can hear that clicking. So I don't know if the whole system's bad or if just this pressure switch is bad. So I'm going to open it up here and see if it's at least functioning, and then I know the problem is with the fan unit. So I'm going to remove this cap. All right, I'm now inside the pressure switch, and there's a few things I want to check. So first of all, that black and red and white, those are the three lines which are coming from the main power, which is connected to a board in here. Now, once this pressure switch activates, there should be 110 across the white and red wire. So it's hard for me to do that with the camera, but I've got my meter, and I'm just going to take a reading across the white and red. Okay, I have my probes across the white and red wire after activating the pressure switch. And I'm not getting any voltage. It does appear that the pressure switch is the problem, but I am going to take a look in here just to see how the power cord is connected. All right, everything is wired properly, but I did make one modification to my blower fan that I'll just share with you. This can be hardwired into your power, but what I did was I actually put a plug on it, and I have an outlet down the wall. I'll show you that in a second. But anyways, all the connections in here are good, so it does appear I just need to go buy myself a new pressure switch here. All right, again, so that's the white cord that I modified because I have an outlet right here next to my refrigerator in the garage. All right, I went to supplyhouse.com, which is a pretty good place to get parts for these things. I was really surprised. The DB10 kit is about $80, and I don't believe that includes shipping. However, if I scroll down, the DB110, the price of a new one is about $248. My unit is actually about 6 years old. So rather than spend about $100 and just get a part, I'm just gonna go ahead, I think, and buy a whole new unit. All right, so just got the new unit in. I just need to hook up my power cord here. I'll show you those connections in a second. So I'm just gonna get the old one down and bring it in. There is some extra hardware for mounting, but I'm just gonna use the old mount and then maybe the new rubber grommet for the exhaust hose. All right, so to remove the old unit, I'm just gonna lift off the top exhaust pipe. This metal bracket will flex a little bit, but there are 3 Phillips screws that I need to undo. That'll make this, I can pull that off, and then I can just pull it off the bottom exhaust pipe. Can't do that with the camera on, but just wanted to describe that to you. All right, so I forgot that I had my power cord nailed to the wall. So just pull out this harness, and you can see you put a small flathead in there once you've unplugged it, and then you can remove however you've hooked up your power supply. All right, so I've got my old one off the wall, and before I hook up the new one, I figured for those of you that have one, or if you have not used one before but want to, just something real quick. So this is actually the bottom end of it. I've got it flipped upside down. And on the bottom side, that's where it's pulling your exhaust. So this is the part that you really want to take apart every couple of months, at least once every 6 months, and vacuum out. You can see, I actually did mine about 6 months ago. I thought it would still be relatively clean, but the fan blades in there are loaded with lint. So I'm not gonna pull it all out because I'm just gonna make a mess. But I'll clean it up later. But again, this is, you wanna get all that out of there every couple of months. What do you think, Gunnar? All right. All right, so with the old one removed and I've got my power cord just kind of hanging in place, I'm gonna screw the new one on the existing bracket. And I'll use some of the new screws, but they're pretty beefy and they really bite into the plastic. And so this is one of them. And but you're gonna have to muscle it when you screw that onto the new plastic. I'll start one and just show you that. All right, so I got the grommets out. I just used that same flathead I used for the electrical connections. And I'm just gonna use this to help guide the new ones in. These holes are pretty small, so you kind of just gotta work those grommets in. All right, I've got all those new grommets in, and I'm not gonna lie, that hurt like hell. My fingertips are raw, but get it done, that's probably gonna be the hardest part of the project. All right, so I have put the Fantech in place. I partially screwed on the screws just so there's no risk of falling. Also, the vent connections are also gonna, make it pretty steady in place. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that power cord hooked back up. And again, make sure your plug is either shut off the power if you're hardwiring it, or if you're putting it to a plug like I am, just make sure it's unplugged. All right, so I've got all my connections made. So now I can push this in place, kind of tuck everything in a little bit so I can get that cap on. But before I do, I am going to actually test it to make sure that it works. All right, so one of the last things we need to do, we need to insert that tube for the pressure switch. It's gonna connect to that black tube right there, and then to this grommet right here. This part can be a little tricky, so what I like to do is put the grommet on the tube first, and then we're going to use that flathead to kind of tuck it in inside that hole. All right, here's how mine looks, fully assembled. Again, I don't have those screws tightened yet, but I'm just going to give this a shot to see if it works. All right, so I blew into the tube, and it is working very well. So this project is just about fixed. I'll put the electrical covers back on, and we're good to go. And just as a quick sanity check, I did put my meter across the red and white wire while it's running, and I did measure 120. So I did have a bad pressure switch, but at the end of the day, after 6 years of pretty good performance, I decided to replace the whole unit rather than spending $80 on a pressure switch. So I think that was a pretty good investment. Hope this is helpful. If you guys got any questions, just leave them below. If you like these videos, subscribe. I've got lots of videos that can help you out, save some money around the house. Take it easy.